Well, let's still get into 2017 despite that. We've got some interesting picks on here. We don't know what Doug's actually picking. We'll find
God,
out
Doug, you
in a
better
little
pick the
bit.
first one on your list because I already downloaded the
All
damn
right, here
poster for it.
Oh,
Locked in.
he should do Mummy just because some other people have already thrown in his other three movies.
I didn't download the Mummy.
Because you didn't think you'd ever have to talk about the
No, I
Mummy.
didn't think I would ever have to. I'm just gonna write the fucking Mummy.
The Mummy.
Right. Corey, talk about your shitty movie.
This is actually a fantastic movie, JP. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. So I went with The Post. I actually do really like this movie. I saw it once. I remember going into it. I think Murph. I think you told me it was good, but it wasn't something
Sounds about right.
It wasn't something I immediately, was chasing after seeing. But I watched it like on demand somewhere, and I did enjoy it. It's about the Washington Post scandal that happened back in like the 60s, 70s, something like that.
Yeah, it's about Watergate.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw this.
Tom Hanks, and who else is in it?
Meryl
Meryl
Streep.
Streep, right? Yeah. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
There's
Like I
a
said.
shit ton of people in this movie. It's a real
Yeah.
like star-studded cast.
Yeah, it's got.
But they're the two headliners.
And I remember enjoying it for the most part. Kind of like another mark on Steven Spielberg's like checklist of like different types of genre films or like different types of films that he does. This was, pretty different than a lot of things that he normally does, I think. A lot of the actors that he's worked with, but different type of film. And I did enjoy it.
And he rushed this one into production because of all like the fake news stuff like that was going on. He wanted to talk about like how like the news is an important institution. So that was like an interesting like backstory behind the film being made.
Oh, and John Williams did the score for this.
Yep.
So it continues that.
Yeah, might be the last one he ever does for him because he didn't do Ready Player One. He's not doing West Side Story. Spielberg's not doing Indiana Jones. We'll see what happens with Spielberg's next one.
Yeah, that is definitely really interesting if that ends up happening. This movie was also nominated for a lot of awards, which I didn't realize until now. Best actor, motion picture, actress, I think, drama. But
and Meryl Streep gets nominated for everything, so that would make sense.
That's true.
This felt like a very like Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I watched it. It like checked all the boxes for to be nominated, if not win some Oscars.
Yeah, it was probably one of the better movies that came out that year, I would say.
Yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable one. They make topics that wouldn't necessarily be the most exciting thing. Pretty exciting. All right. Doug, we already spoiled that you're talking about the Mummy. Explain to us why you're talking about the Mummy.
Now the Mummy.
This is not Brendan Fraser.
You guys took every other movie. You guys took every other movie I picked off the list.
There's so few movies.
The beginning of the Universal Monster Universe, the cinematic universe that they were going to.
Dark Universe.
The Mummy launched the Dark. Well, failure to launch the Dark Universe.
Was that what it was called?
Both
the Dark
launched
Universe?
And launched and ended the Dark Universe.
They had it had Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Russell Crowe pop in.
But he was just Dr. Jekyll in this, right?
No, he also turns into Mr. Hyde.
Yeah,
oh wow!
Yeah,
they had a lot of people like cast for other movies, like Javier Bardem. I think was supposed to be Frankenstein's monster or some shit.
Oh, that would be so good.
Was it Invisible Man with
Elizabeth? Bride of Frankenstein as somebody, I forget. They removed. Well, I mean, it's not. The Invisible Man was its own thing because they already canceled Dark
but
Universe.
Wasn't it originally supposed to be part of that?
Yeah, Johnny Depp was supposed to play Invisible Man.
They had to change it.
Yeah, they were gonna. This was gonna be
like R-rated type movie instead.
this was gonna be like the launch of the MCU, basically, but for
Yeah,
for this like dark
for
universe
Universal Monsters.
of Universal. Yeah, which is like I don't know who came up with that, but that probably wasn't the greatest idea. But yeah, first you got to have like your first hit movie, and the Mummy was hopefully going to be it, starring Tom Cruise. But I thought like a lot of the action in this movie was fun.
I didn't think that this movie was as bad as all the reviews said.
I like watching Tom Cruise like fucking run around and do crazy ass stunts, and you get that in the Mummy. The plane crash scene, I think, is one of the coolest action scenes I've seen in a movie because they actually like it's not CGI. They flew a plane up and did like nosedives to make things to give the weightlessness, and then you like perform the stunts in the weightlessness of the nosedives of the plane. Cool. So it looks like you've got Tom Cruise like floating around and stuff, and while the plane is supposed to be crashing, and it's like a pretty epic scene. Like I said, definitely one of my favorite action moments. Story's fine. It's mainly a set piece for Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise had like one of his guys come in that he has on all of his movies and like rewrite a lot of the script so that it was probably more Tom Cruise focused.
Did Christopher McQuarrie, who does the
No, that guy's name is Xenu, Murph. That's who he brings in to rewrite these scripts. Is Xenu, the man himself.
I don't know. It might be that guy.
Pulling it up now. Let's see. Yeah, he joined in the screenplay.
Yeah, so Tom had his boy come in and rewrite it, and probably, I don't know, possibly made it worse. I don't know what the rewrites are typically for. If they're to give Tom Cruise more stuff to look cool, or
I mean, he does like his good movies. Like he did Edge of Tomorrow, Mission Impossible 5 and 6, plus 7 and 8 coming out, Top Gun Maverick, Jack Reacher.
Yeah, he's got a good track record.
But I feel like Tom Cruise is sort of like a predator for these types of movies where he feels like he can just swoop in, make it his, and then just like sort of suck any life out of it, get a paycheck, and bounce to something else that's good.
A Mummy movie shouldn't be a Tom Cruise movie. It should be a Mummy movie.
No.
Like Brendan Fraser
definitely a Tom Cruise movie.
Was in a Mummy movie, but like he was so good in it that like you could say it was also a Brendan Fraser movie.
Like you could have remade that movie beat for beat, and it would have been such a good basis for like this overarching world that has these mystical creatures in it, because there's so much lore in the Mummy. It just works so well.
Yeah, this is more like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But in Egypt with some mystical shit going on. Jake Johnson's in this movie, so that was fun as like the sidekick character. I like him.
I'll have to check it out now. Get some Nick Miller in there.
Yeah, but I think part of what helps this movie is it got just like slammed on the reviews, and I watched it and found it enjoyable.
Russell Crowe was awesome.
Yeah, he was Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
he was fine. Yeah, he's doing the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde stuff. So I'm sure you guys can picture what that looks like.
I think that's the only thing I'm interested in out of this whole movie now. I might have to just go look at that clip or something.
It's not a.
Also, watch the plane crash scene too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't
think the movie's a complete waste of time.
I mean, it is if you're like watching it because all the setup for a dark universe that never happens. So in that way, it is. But
yeah. What's the end goal of the dark universe? Like, why do the fucking monsters come together?
Like Van Helsing.
I want to see a storyboard. I really do. I want to know what the fuck the progression of this was going to be.
I don't think they had anything.
Was it to fight Tom Cruise? Was Tom Cruise going to be the ultimate villain?
Is he allowed to play a villain?
They have to fight Van Helsing. That's got to be it.
I guess.
Played by Hugh Jackman.
Is
Bring him
Tom
back.
Cruise the mummy? Or is the
Jason
lady the
or
mummy?
Jason Segel's puppet.
I mean, do we want to get into spoilers or no?
Maybe talk to me after.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll just fucking watch it.
It's a
I'm
short
kind of
movie.
intrigued too.
It's a short movie.
Yeah.
Just watch it. I think you two would mildly enjoy it.
You guys can come back and bash it.
Yeah. It's not a good movie, but it's definitely not as bad as the reviews say it is.
It's not as bad as Space Jam 2.
Corey
not.
likes Space Jam too.
All right, JP, you got a classic on here in the
Yeah,
MCU.
I feel like I cheaped out on this a little bit, but yeah, I really couldn't find any good movies this year besides like, hey, it's a Marvel movie, it's Thor Ragnarok, but in my opinion, it's probably the best Marvel movie because it's the most entertaining, it has a great story, and it's really, really funny. There's a lot of memorable characters in it. You see the death of Odin, which is pretty crazy. I guess Anthony Hopkins didn't want to be in Marvel movies anymore. And then you just kind of see the capstone of the relationship between Loki and Thor, and it's kind of heartwarming, kind of cool. Also, Jeff Goldblum's great in it.
Yep.
And Taika just took what was hands down my least favorite set of movies in the Marvel universe and turned it on its side and gave me probably one of my favorite Marvel movies in Thor Ragnarok. Taika just revitalized the entire character, and the movie's so colorful. It's got great music in it. Just an all-around great movie.
Yeah. No argument there. I think all of us have it fairly high in our MCU rankings. Did we ever do MCU rankings on this? Like, obviously not all of them,
I don't think officially.
but
no.
I think we have. I think we pardon me.
Might have
I
been
think we
like in
did
the
all-
early days.
I don't think
Yeah, I
Like
think
a
we did
very- yeah,
all of
very
ours
early
and then
days.
averaged them together.
we did all of them and averaged them.
I think so.
I know we did that for DC.
That's something we
Um,
did back in the day.
That might have
Yeah.
been one of our like 5-hour episodes.
Back in the day.
We'll have to go back and check and see like what we can do, because if we haven't done that, maybe just do it like a top 5.
check the
Sure.
archives. I probably still have the
Just
recording
to-
somewhere if it existed.
Yeah. No, I mean it's on YouTube and everything. We can find them wherever we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone go back and listen to our entire catalog and tell us if we did that.
That would be very helpul.
Yeah.
Get them
thanks.
views.
Dirk,
Start from
I'm sure Dirk remembers.
start from episode 47 and go backwards though.
That'll be
Yeah.
interesting. It'll get painful towards the end.
Yeah, you know, just do that because
Oh my god, what am I doing listening to this crap? Why are there so many pauses?
It's like JP's descent into Adam Sandler. Netflix movies.
why does it sound like Corey dubbed his voiceover on this whole episode?
Oh, one episode we're gonna have to talk about all like the ridiculous like flubs and shit that we've experienced on this show.
Oh yeah.
But before that, we'll go to my pick and then the extra picks. So yeah, there were so many movies that we've talked about before, so I was like, try to do something different. Like, and it's gonna be more common as we get closer on these last few installments.
Yeah.
But I did never talk about this one, so and I liked it a lot. So it's Ingrid Goes West. Stars Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen. I'd say it's a dramedy, but leaning towards the comedy side. Aubrey Plaza plays like a loser who is obsessed with social media. She's obsessed with Elizabeth Olsen's influencer personality. So then she flies out. She moves to California, like reinvent herself, and basically like starts stalking like Elizabeth Olsen's character, and then becoming friends with her. Naturally, you can expect things are going to unravel since she's basically formed like a new identity for herself out in California, like with a new like social media presence and stuff like that. Because she doesn't want to be known as who she was prior, when I believe like she was suicidal at one point before going out to California. So it's like she's got shit going on that she's dealing with, and yeah, the movie gets dark, but it also is pretty funny. And the two main characters played by Olsen and Plaza are both like very well drawn. O'Shea Jackson Jr. plays um, Aubrey Plaza's like housemate out in California. He's solid in it. And then Billy Magnuson, I think his name is. He was like that clownish prince character in Aladdin, the remake. You probably would recognize him from some other stuff. He plays Elizabeth Olsen's brother, I believe, in the movie, and he's like a really good villain. Now every time I see him, I'm like, this fucking prick. But yeah, I believe it's on Hulu. That's where I had watched it a few years ago. Sorry, you were going to say something, Doug?
No, I was just looking up the cast. Looks like Wyatt Russell's in this, and so
Oh
is
yeah,
Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. Whatever her name is.
Wyatt Russell, I believe, is Aubrey Plaza or Elizabeth Olsen's boyfriend, and Mantis is one of their friends. So
So
yeah,
you
it's
got
got
like a little MCU group in there.
yeah. What do you got? What
You got three.
three? Yeah. I'm sure
It's
that.
only a matter of time before Aubrey Plaza shows up. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. I don't think he's been in any of them yet, but again, there's plenty of time for that. But yeah, that's my pick. If you're into something a little quirky, I recommend it. But yeah, let's get into our extra picks. A lot of superhero movies.
Yeah.
Got Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man Homecoming, all on top of Thor Ragnarok. So this was a pretty killer year for superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got one of the best MCU movies with Thor. You got one of the best X-Men movies with Logan. One of the best DCU movies with Wonder Woman, and then two other solid MCU flicks in Spider-Man, Homecoming, Guardians 2. But maybe one of the best debuts for a solo superhero with Spider-Man Homecoming in the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Guardians 2 is a solid sequel. Anything in particular you guys wanted to shout out about any of these ones?
Not particularly. I saw Guardians 2 at an iPic theater in a big bubble dome, and they gave me a blanket and a pillow. That was pretty awesome.
There you go. That's nice. I haven't been to that one yet.
It's a bitch to park at.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems like far away. So like,
I tried
just never
going there
do.
once and I couldn't get parking anywhere.
There's a parking garage across the street which we parked in, which was all right, but driving through Fort Lee is an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
And if you miss your exit, you're in New York City.
Doug, you were going to include you were thinking of including a few of these movies of you on yours. Anything you want to say about them?
no, I mean I know Guardians isn't as good as 1, but I like Guardians 2. I think it's a fun movie. You got Kurt Russell and you got Fleetwood
Mary
Mac
Poppins.
songs and
Yeah.
fun Mary Poppins reference.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, I mean that's like that and death scene too. I mean, we were talking about death scenes. I feel like that's a pretty strong.
I thought about
Michael
including that
Michael
one
Rooker death
as well.
Yeah. But, and that was a character that didn't really like stand out to me in the first movie, but I thought the like arc for that character was awesome in the second one.
Agreed.
Yep.
And how he's like the father figure.
Yeah, for Quill. All right, and then we've got Edgar Wright's most recent film. So we covered all 5 of them on here. Baby Driver being his 5th one. Fun film, good music. A lot of people that are like basically like banned from Hollywood now. Well, one person that's truly banned from Hollywood with Kevin Spacey.
He's making his own movies now.
Yeah, or he's making shit overseas.
No one's ever banned from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Freaks.
But yeah, super fun movie.
Yeah.
There's been talk of potentially doing a sequel at some point, but I don't think they should.
That's
I
wild.
think it was a good one and done movie,
Yeah.
and really cool car chase scenes and foot chase scenes. John Hamm, pretty badass bad guy at the end. He's basically a Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah. John Hamm
Um,
was good. All the characters are great. The soundtrack's wonderful, and it's wonderful how it plays into the movie.
Yeah, like we talked about
Didn't we
last
see
week.
this in New York randomly? Why did we go see
Yeah,
this?
you,
in New
me,
York?
and Steve saw it. Ed, you're right. Was there? He did a Q&A after.
I don't remember that.
Yep, that happened.
Wow. I don't remember that. My memory is just fucking falling apart.
It was a big ass theater. I think there was a balcony. We watched the movie, and then he showed up and probably like 20-minute Q&A.
Yeah. I don't remember the Q&A. I remember going there. I remember watching it. My brain's mush at this point, pretty much.
We've done a lot of cool shit over the years, so
Yep.
can't remember everything. All right, and then we've got some more picks. We've got The Upside, which was I think a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
With
Murph, you and I saw this.
yeah, Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. I was pleasantly surprised by this one.
Sad.
Where
This thing looked like a shitty movie.
Bryan Cranston's a paraplegic and Kevin Hart takes care of him. They had really good chemistry in it.
Mm-hmm.
Home Again. Which one is Home Again?
I think it's like the 5th Home Alone movie.
Oh, no. Well, that didn't come out yet. It's coming out on Disney Plus.
No, this is Reese Witherspoon, Pico Alexander,
You see this one, Corey?
Michael Sheen.
Negative.
Is it on the list?
Does not have a whole lot of tomatoes.
No.
Not a lot of tomatoes.
I hope not.
32 tomatoes.
I mean, that's not the worst I've seen.
I think Space Jam 2 has 32 tomatoes.
It's a great film.
No.
Before I Fall. JP.
It's got your Zoe Deutsch in it.
Oh, which one? Before I Fall?
Before I Fall, yeah.
Tell us more about it.
It's got Elena Kumpupur. I don't know how to say that. Samantha Kingston seems to have it all: popularity, a loving boyfriend,
I'm reading
and
that
a
too.
seemingly perfect future. Everything changes in the blink of an eye when she dies in a car crash,
Ooh.
but then magically wakes up to find herself reliving the same day over and over again.
Oh, so
That actually sounds like
it's like
yeah,
a
it
Happy
sounds
Death Day
like
type.
I saw the trailer.
This is a time loop movie.
I saw the trailer.
This is right up our alley.
I saw the trailer for this. This actually looked interesting.
How many tomatoes do we have?
It's got 64 tomatoes.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna add this to my list.
We might have to
It
watch
says,
this as a group. Report
People
back.
also search for it, and it has Happy Death Day. So
All right, this is right up my
Time
alley.
loop.
We're in a drought of time loop movies after the excess of the previous year. So,
Are we getting another Happy Death Day movie? Is this happening?
I feel
the director just did sign on to a new movie today on a Netflix movie, I think.
Bruh, stop.
I know.
Make Happy Death Day 3.
I know. Fucking Jason Blum, do it. We hyped up this movie enough over the past year.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully it's what he does after that. But his new one has a really good cast from what I saw. All right, then we got Pitch Perfect 3. I don't think I've seen this one. So
decent. It's not as
just
good
the
as
first
2.
two. Table 19, JP.
Yes.
What is Table 19?
So,
It's with Anna
It
Kendrick.
stars Anna Kendrick. It's got Wyatt Russell in it.
Ah.
Second Russell. It's got Lisa Kudrow.
It's got a good cast. The
Ex-
Flash
go.
Thompson, the kid who plays Flash Thompson in
Okay.
Spider-Man, he's in it.
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
It's got 25 tomatoes.
What is it about?
Ex-maid of honor, Eloise, having been relieved of her duties after being unceremoniously dumped by the best man via text, decides to hold her head high and attend her oldest friend's wedding anyway.
Nice.
She finds herself seated at a random table with all the mutants in the back of the ballroom with a desperate group of strangers. Yes, so she gets seated with the mutants from table 19.
All right, I love the title.
I watched the trailer for this last night, I think, and
That
it
is an
looks
incredible
mildly funny.
wedding singer reference.
Yeah.
Um, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I hope I never get stuck at table 19.
Table 19.
That'll be
it's a
real
table.
insulting. Next up, we have Mother, the Jennifer Lawrence fucking nightmare film with her and Javier
Jesus.
Bardem.
Still
This
gotta
one's
watch this.
real fucked up trip. Yeah, Corey, this is right up your alley. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like an allegory for something, but it's just Jennifer Lawrence going through hell.
Who the fuck directed this movie? He's like the biggest pompous. It's Aronofsky, right?
Darren
Yeah.
Aronofsky,
Fucking biggest pompous piece of shit in the universe. Dude probably wears like a fucking knit cap when it's 105 degrees outside and a scarf because he thinks he looks intellectual. God.
And he got to go out with Jennifer Lawrence when he made this movie.
How lucky for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
This
Yep.
thing.
That's like a
this thing
pretty
just
big
fucking
age gap, right?
reeked.
It's decent sized. Next up, we've got Kumail Nanjiani's The Big Sick. This
Great
one was
movie.
based on his relationship with Emily V. Gordon, the writer. So the two of them co-wrote it together. Zoe Kazan plays his wife or his girlfriend in the movie. It deals with them having a budding relationship and then her having a serious mental or a serious not mental
I forget what was wrong with her.
some sort of illness.
Yeah, she
and
has.
she's stuck in the hospital, and he's still standing by her side. Ray Romano, Holly Hunter are really good as her parents in the movie. A lot of comedians are in it as well. Bo Burnham, some other ones. They're like his stand-up comedy friends. This is one I would highly recommend to anyone looking to watch a comedy. Despite how dark it sounds, it's got a happy ending. And it's very funny.
Nice.
I'd say this was like the first of like Ray Romano getting back out there and like really being in a lot of movies again, or a lot of like stuff again. Like he was an Irishman after this. He's got some other stuff that he's been in
He was
recently.
like shockingly good in this. I was.
He's a very strong actor.
Good for Ray Romano.
Everybody loves him. Then we've got The Greatest Showman. This is the musical with Mr. Jackman and Zac Efron, Zendaya, a bunch of other people. Good songs.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I don't like the movie as much as everybody else does, but I think the songs are good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the soundtrack is the reason why it was like one of the leggiest movies of the past like 20 years. I think it opened to like less than 10 million and ended up making close to 200 million.
That's crazy.
In the US.
Determination.
Yeah. So that was really impressive. All right, JP, you're gonna have to help me with these next two.
I'm already up there for this first one.
All right, you get me.
2017. It's a Bella Thorne vehicle, starring Halston Sage and Taylor John Smith. Sitting there at 26 tomatoes. After a big bust-up with his beloved girlfriend, a guy ends up in the arms of a seductive newcomer. Afterwards, she develops an obsession with keeping the newly found romance alive. People also searched for Before I Fall, Babysitter, and the Babysitter Killer Queen.
Yeah, I mean, two Bella Thorne vehicles with Babysitter and Babysitter Killer Queen. Babysitter came out in 2017 as well.
Yeah.
Big Bella Thorne here.
She was really good in Babysitter, though.
Yeah, she was funny in that one.
Playing like an absolute empty vessel.
How about Flower? Tell me about Flower.
Flower, another Zoe Deutsch film with Joey Morgan.
Kate is a big Zoe Deutsch fan, I'm realizing.
Yeah, she loves her.
Got Catherine Hahn and Adam Scott. It's got Tim Heidecker in it. How lovely. A rebellious, quick-witted Erica Vandross is a 17-year-old firecracker living with her single mom, Lori, and her mom's new boyfriend, Bob.
Wait, who's Lori? Who plays Lori and Bob?
Lori is Catherine Hahn, and Bob is Tim Heidecker of Tim and Eric.
Wow. Okay.
That's
all right. This sounds interesting.
They're living in LA's wonderful San Fernando Valley when Bob's mentally unbalanced son, Luke, arrives from rehab to live with the family.
Who plays
and then
Luke?
probably hilarity ensues. Joey Morgan, never heard of him. Looks like a child.
How many tomatoes?
Let's see. 49 tomatoes.
Not
Just
bad.
shy of the 50 tomato mark. Unfortunately.
It has 11 more to be fresh. All right, sounds interesting at least. Gifted. This is Chris Evans. This is actually a really good one as well, and it takes place in St. Petersburg. They go to
Russia?
No.
No. That's what immediately came to mind for me too.
It takes place in St. Pete, and they go to they go to they go to Ferg's in the movie.
Lovely.
Which is pretty cool. I don't think it actually got filmed there, but like in St. Pete. But I thought that was neat since it's a place we've been to before. Chris Evans is dealing with basically having to look over his sister's child after she passes away, and she's a genius. And then he's figuring out how to deal with that responsibility. Jenny Slate's in it. She plays like his love interest. Octavia Spencer. She's like a neighbor who is very helpful. It was a good movie. I saw it on HBO. Would definitely recommend this one.
Cool.
How many tomatoes it got?
It has 73 tomatoes, so pretty good.
So there are no Russian sleeper cells in this movie.
Unfortunately,
No.
not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are not. They're just Florida people.
2017 is void of ghouls.
Yeah,
No
we
ghouls
have
to talk about today.
0 ghouls in this year. No ghouls.
Well, I mean, what else? Annabelle Creation was in 2017,
Okay.
right?
Is she really a ghoul, though? She's just a doll.
Well, she's a doll, but she brings the ghouls out. Does it
true.
count?
I don't know if that's certified ghoul fresh.
All right, maybe we can get a little more ghoulish in 2018. After our next episode, we'll have to make sure that at least one ghoul is mentioned.
Unfortunately, we missed our mark. In 2016, a movie called The Ghoul came out. No one saw it, nor did they talk about it. So
didn't know that. Wow.
that ship has fucking sailed.
Damn it!
Missed opportunity.
We had one job to do.
Damn shame.
That's it.
Kate says the Mummy is a ghoul.
Okay.
The Mummy is ghoulish.
Mildly ghoulish.
Kind of. I mean, yeah.
That's
Russell Crowe is ghoul-like, I suppose, in that film.
Okay.
I mean,
Ghoul adjacent.
Yeah. If we're gonna stretch it.
All right.
I'm just looking at this chat now. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, chat's fantastic. It's always a good time.
I never get to enjoy it, but all right. And the posters look great.
Thank you.
I like that Ingrid Goes West poster a lot.
It's very vaporwave.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's cool.
It's an aesthetic, generally purple, pink, and shit like that.
Yeah, I like those types of posters. It's got like that the drive colors to it.
I have no fucking idea why it
like
would
a
look
like a Vice
that,
City poster.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was 2017. Send us your picks. If we didn't shout them out for 2017, send them for 2018. We'll talk about it on our next episode.
We're inching closer and closer to the present day.
Yeah, only 3 more. Damn, craziness. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.